Today we are changing the motor mounts on a 1997 GMC Safari rear-wheel drive. The van vibrates when it is stationary in drive. As soon as I accelerate, the vibration goes away. A visual inspection confirmed that the mount was bad. And now that it's out, look at this mess. It just falls apart. Wow, look at that. Service information states you should lift the engine and remove both brackets when changing these. The problem with that is you need to replace the hollow bolts that hold the bracket. Finding replacement hollow bolts has been difficult. The local dealership does not have them. Next best thing to do is unbolt the actual motor mount. It uses a 15mm bolt and a 15mm nut. So what you want to do is hold the 15mm bolt. I use a ratcheting box end, and then I'll loosen the nut with a 15mm socket. Now the hard part is actually getting to those bolts or those nuts. More on that in a little bit. What you want to do first is remove this long bolt. It has a 17mm nut. What you want to do is you want to lift the engine just a little bit so you can loosen that and slide this guy out. I removed the 17mm nut while holding the 16mm bolt. For the two bolts on the passenger side motor mount, I used a 15mm line wrench. The rubber prevented me from using a box end. When you put the new motor mounts back in, know that they go like this. The single bolt is the highest point, and there's no way you can get it wrong. See, it doesn't fit. You can't fit a wrench on here because of space. So what I did is I used a 15mm socket along with a wrench converter. You're supposed to use a 3/4 wrench. I got away with using a 19mm ratcheting box end. For the driver's side motor mount, this is the ratchet that helped out. You can change the head, and it really helps at getting those nuts. For the passenger side, you can get two of them with a 1/2 inch and a 6-inch extension. For the highest bolt, you're going to need a 3/8 set with a swivel and a 15mm shallow. I got about 10 inches in extension right here. But you're gonna need at least 5 more inches. This is a lip point I use on the driver's side. I put a 16-inch block of wood right there and lifted with the jack. Now the passenger side also has this lip point, but the starter motor is in the way, so you're gonna have to remove the starter motor if you wanna lift from right here. First, we're tackling the passenger side motor mount. We're loosening the most difficult nut to reach. That is the highest nut. I'm entering through the coil spring side. There is a gap at the top, and using a 3/8 set along with the swivel makes easy work of this nut. The two lower nuts you can reach through these two holes shown. I'm using a 1/2 inch ratchet with a 5-inch extension. Easy, right? It gets easier. Driver's side motor mount. There's one nut that needs no explanation. To get the nut adjacent to it, I used the 3/8 indexable head ratchet and reached the nut using this configuration. To remove the high nut, I use this configuration. In conclusion, the nasty vibration when stationary in drive is gone. The engine sits a bit higher, therefore the fan started to hit the upper fan shroud. You might need to adjust the upper fan shroud after completing this job. There is no torque specification for the motor mount nuts. The through bolt is torqued to 74 foot-pounds and the nut 50 foot-pounds. The hardest part was aligning the through bolt. I hope you learned something. Have a good day.